Hey y'all, my name is Bria Gladney and this is how I create.
Welcome to This Is How We Create, a show that digs deeper into the creative life of contemporary artists of color. Discover what feeds their creativity and how they found or are finding their artistic voice. Through these intimate and candid conversations, you'll gain insights into the lives of creative professionals of color that are hard to find anywhere else.
Welcome back to This Is How We Create. My name is Martine Severin, your host. Every so often, we come across an artist whose journey reminds us that creativity isn't just about the final piece, it's about the transformation that happens along the way. Bria Gladney, a Dallas-based artist, embodies this perfectly. What started with viral graduation cap designs on Twitter has evolved into a remarkable story of artistic evolution, mental health healing, and finding purpose through creativity. In a time when social media success can feel like the ultimate goal, Gladney took an unexpected path. During a period of deep depression, she stepped away from Instagram for 7 months, seeking guidance through prayer and dreams. As such, the result was Dear Cleo, a stunning mixed media piece that combines crochet, a skill taught to her by her great-grandmother, Cleo Gladney. This piece have marked a new chapter in her artistry, but it also became a symbol of intergenerational connection and healing. So today, I sit down with Bria to explore how she, as an artist, has managed to weave together commercial success from Walmart collaborations to animation projects, and why she has such a deep commitment to philanthropy. Through her work with the Two Fly Foundation, Bria is using her art to help children from lower income neighborhoods pursue higher education, proving that sometimes the meaningful art comes from the intersection of personal healing and community impact. Bria, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I've been excited all day to talk to you about art and my transformation and how everything has come to be. And I'm just really excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk with you as well, because I was looking at your Dear Cleo bears and I'm like, oh goodness, how is she doing this? So I find crochet to be really, really hard, and I never could. I could knit, but crocheting seemed like another level of skills. Well,
See,
I'm
I thought knitting seemed harder.
Really?
Yeah, but I never tried. I never really tried. I just looked and I'm like, how do they do that? And I just never wanted to try. That is so funny.
So we're going to get to talking about your grandmother, but first, you grew up in the Metro Dallas area. Talk to us about your exposures to creativity and what role creativity and exposure to the arts, and I use that in quotes, exposure to the arts influenced you when you were growing up.
Okay, I love this question so much because I actually didn't even think about art, know anything about art until my last semester of college. So growing up, my sister was very artsy. She makes wedding dresses from scratch to this day. She's an amazing seamstress, amazing artist. She's pretty much taught me everything I know. But growing up, I was more so concerned with being a class clown, and that's all I cared about. Like, if you asked me what did I do in high school, every day, the school was my stage, and I just tried my hardest to see how many jokes I could tell and how many laughs I can get in one day. And I just pretty much didn't take anything seriously. So I had no exposure or interest in anything artistic growing up, except if you would have asked me that a year ago, that's exactly what I would have said. But my first introduction to art, which I didn't realize until this year, was actually when I was crocheting as a little girl. So when I was 5 and 6 years old, my great grandma taught me how to crochet, and I was very crafty and caught on very quickly. And I crocheted all through elementary school, but I didn't consider that an art form until this year. So I really wasn't exposed to like arts per se, except for the comedy. I think comedy is an art, except for trying to be a comedian. So it was really, my sister was the only exposure to art that I had. And I just thought she was like some amazing person because she could draw. And I was like, whoa, how'd you do that? And she was really quiet and shy about it. So I used to pretend that I did it. So I would take her drawings to school and pretend that it was me. That was like the only connection that I had to art. So when I finally did learn how to draw, nobody believed me because they thought I was using my sister's paintings and drawings. So like, you didn't do that. I was like, yes, I did. But yeah, I wasn't really exposed to art. Like I thought I was just concerned with, I might have been, but I was only concerned about making jokes. That was pretty much my life until I found the pencil.
You might still have a calling as a comedian. Who knows?
I do want to tell jokes one day, but I try to use it playfully through my art. That's kind of what I've conjoined the two now for my playful personality and my art. And it took me 9 years to figure out how to do both, but I'm here now.
Oh my gosh, we're so different because I can be very lighthearted and fun, but my personality has been set to being such a serious person and so much of a thinker that I find that I keep looking for comedy because I'm like, I just take everything too seriously. And I always have to say, Martine, just relax. Like, you're caring way too much about this.
I am literally the complete opposite to where I had to get serious. When I turned 30, I was like, Bria, I'm an adult. Life is not all jokes. I could laugh, but like there are some serious parts to life. So that's really funny. I love making people laugh, and especially people who are more reserved and serious. Those are my favorite people to make laugh. Like I would find the more serious kids in class just so I could go make them laugh. But it's so funny.
So what was it about that? Why are you so interested in making people laugh?
You know, it was interesting. When I was in elementary school, I remember being in 3rd grade and I remember enjoying doing class presentations. And I learned quickly that if you smile big and make the teacher laugh, you did less effort in class. So I was like, I didn't have to do as much work as the other kids if I had a entertaining personality. So I kind of thrived off that. And I remember the first time I made a crowd laugh and it just gave me the high that I needed. I was in 5th grade. I was on a camping trip. And I remember we did a little class skit and I was playing an old lady. And I remember looking up and all of the teachers' faces were bright red and they were crying. And I said, I have so much power in this room as a little girl. And I'm making these adults fall to their knees, but in a good way. So I just enjoyed being able to kind of manipulate a crowd. And from then on, I just always, anytime I had the opportunity to stand in front of someone, I was going to take it, whether it was a funeral. And I was like, you know what? These people are sad and they need someone who knows how to work a room to lift up the spirits. And I just would get joy out of like making people in the room happy. And I love it. I still to this day love it.
No, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You have the kids and all of the different terms they come up with. I can hear what my son would say. He would say, wow, she has a lot of riz.
Yeah, I learned that word recently. I'm like, am I old? I don't know the new words.
Right. Bria, I'm a little surprised because I said it and I was like, oh no, she's going to make fun of me because Martine, you don't know what riz is?
My younger cousins are like, you don't know these words? I'm like, I didn't think I was old enough to not know the new words, but who made this up? So I try to call my cousins. I'm like, okay, so what does this mean? How do I use this emoji?
Oh gosh, yeah, I feel you. All right. So let's talk about designing graduation caps.
Oh, okay.
How did that come about? Tell me the story of how you started designing graduation caps.
Okay. So I said I did not pick up the pencil until my last semester of college. And like I've said, I'm not a serious person. So by the time I got to the last semester of college, I truly didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in life, except for I knew I wanted to teach inner city children Black history. So I was majoring in history because I wanted my people to know where they came from so they could be proud of themselves so we can move forward. And I've always been community driven in that way. And so I started, when I picked up the pencil, I was joking, clearly. Somebody said they needed somebody to draw and I was like, I can draw, but I was just joking. So I was in history class and I started doodling and it was really, really easy. So because it was really, really easy, I just decided I'm going to keep on trying this. And also because I'm a jokester, class clown, I like to be in front of people. I started telling everyone immediately when I learned how to draw. So if it was kind of good, I started showing everyone. So as soon as you start showing people and you're kind of good at art, I was like decent at it. I never was really bad. It was kind of natural. People immediately started wanting me to draw stuff for them. And so I took art as like a monetary thing in the beginning because I just wanted to be a jokester. I didn't care about art. I just was like, oh, this can make you money? Sure. And I was graduating. All my peers are graduating. So everybody wanted a unique graduation cap. So I worked in the office at the Center for Leadership and Service at school, which was right next to the printing shop. So I would just draw. I would be on my iPad at work because everybody was encouraging me learning how to draw because they saw me start from like nothing to like being really good. So people just come by and tell me what they wanted. I would email them the graduation cap and then they would print it out. And then it started going viral on the internet because I could draw anything anybody wanted. So if they wanted like to remake an album cover or like something like that, I could draw it. And then they would print it out. And graduation caps weren't done like that before. People weren't doing it digitally. So it is like gave me a lot of creative freedom and a lot of viral moments when celebrities would see their face on a graduation cap, they would retweet it. So it got me a lot of like followers. And that's when I started to get more popular as far as art on the internet. And that's kind of what started it. Because I was trying to get some money because I was graduating and I didn't know I didn't have a set job because I wanted to be a teacher, but I wasn't majoring in education. So I was like, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do as soon as I leave. So I just started doing graduation caps and it kind of took off from there.
What's your current day job?
Full-time art. So
you are
yes,
really?
The thing is, I was trying to get a job for the longest, like for the past year. In the past, I always do part-time art, part-time work. And I was like, if I don't want to do art, if I don't want to work, I'll just do art. But it took so long to get a job that I said, you know what, 2025, I'm just going to stop trying to act like I'm unemployed and just be self-employed and take my art to the next level and just, we're here now. I tried. So I'm a full-time artist. I just do art all day, make my little bears.
Well, let's talk about the bears. The first time I was like, oh, those are cute bears. And then I was just like, oh, wait, I read the caption and I was like, what? No, she didn't. She crocheted those bears. It's amazing.
I'm deeply connected to the storyline of how I got to the bears because, so I'm going to talk spiritual. Let's bring it spiritual. So since I was a young, little girl, when I was a little, like 4 or 5 years old, that's when I heard God speak to me for the first time. Now, when you're that age, there's no reason to doubt God or anything like that because you're just so young. You're not jaded by the world. You're not like, oh, this isn't real. That isn't real. So I heard from God and he told me I'm going to do something great. I'm going to be great. So I'm a little girl. I'm in elementary school and I'm thinking I'm going to be great. So I'm believing it full-heartedly. I'm going into life this way. And I was validated as a class clown. I was validated by everyone around me like, oh, you're going to do something amazing. We don't know what it is because I don't have a tangible talent, but I like to be in front of people. So I'm saying all that because when I finally picked up the pencil, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what I was going to be great doing. So I took the gift from God and kind of self-centered it. I made it about myself. So I was always trying to create something that I thought people would like. And I was trying to use art as a platform to really show off my comedic skills and show off myself. And I wasn't necessarily using it to connect to people. I was kind of using it to make money and to give me something to hold while I tell my comedy jokes. And so in doing that, I kind of had an arrogant attitude because all my life, people have validated that I was going to be somebody special. God validated that I was going to be somebody special. As soon as I pick up the pencil, I was immediately good at it. As soon as I post one grad cap, a celebrity sees it, it goes viral. So everything I did in life came with such ease that I became extremely arrogant to the point where it took me losing everything in my life and me sitting down and just me and God to get back to the center of why I even started this. So I say that because when I was 29, I started drawing when I was 22. You asked me then, I was going to be a millionaire by 30. 30 days before my 30th birthday, I'm sitting in eviction court. I have no job, no car, and no money, nothing coming, nothing. So I'm just sitting there and it's just me. And I'm like, okay, this is not what I expected. And I was humbled to the lowest of points to where I only could look up and see God. And in that I asked, and that happened right when I asked God for a transformation. I said, God, can you transform my life? And in my head, he gave me this gift. I'm going to use it. I have this big personality. That means when I ask God to transform my life, he's giving me everything I ever wanted. That means I'm going to get $1 million painting this month or something like that. That was my arrogant attitude. But when I asked God to transform my life, everything, I started from scratch. So in that, I was praying like, okay, I didn't think I was going to be an eviction court because every time I ever needed anything, it happened easily. So I prayed. I was like, God, I got off Instagram right before that. I said I was making Instagram kind of my idol. And so I was like, I need to get off this. I don't want to be influenced by anything else. If I want to be a great artist, I don't need to look and see what people are going to like, or, I just need to find myself. So I got off Instagram and I started praying. I said, God, show me what to paint. So for when I get back on Instagram. So it was still about the validation of when I was going to get back on Instagram. So when I was having all those dreams, I started having dreams like, okay, God, show me what to paint. Show me what to paint. I kept a dream journal too. So I'm like, he's going to tell me tonight. I already know. And every single dream I had was a self-reflective dream. I was apologizing to people in my past. From elementary school on to college, I was in every dream, I was in a group of people like, I'm sorry that I said this to you. I'm sorry that I acted this way to you. And it was a bunch of resolutions that I was coming in my dream, or self-reflecting rather than this image of some painting that I was supposed to make me go viral. But my great grandma kept appearing in my dreams. She died when I was 14 years old and she was 101. So I'm 31 now. So she's never appeared in my dreams. She's the one who taught me how to crochet, and she just started appearing in my dreams. And she wasn't saying anything in the dreams, but I was just like wondering why she was here, because every dream had some deeper meaning. So I finally got back on Instagram after I had all these dreams, all of these things. I had to figure out what to paint on my own. I was like, God did give me my vision. So I came to this painting. I bought this 5-foot canvas. That's the last dollars I had. And I spent 7 months trying to figure out the best painting in the world. I finally came up with this fun painting. I posted it, got back on Instagram, posted it. And then I got a lot of followers, but like nothing happened. I still didn't have a job. I still didn't have a car. I still didn't have anything to do. So I felt very, very sad. So I was like, I worked all this time to post this painting, and then what? Like, I didn't have anything else to hold on to. So I wanted to feel like I was getting a hug. So I was like, I need to take this to my inner child. So I started painting a teddy bear. When I was painting the teddy bear, for some reason, I just could not paint it. And I've never not been able to paint. And it was just so frustrating. It wasn't fun. I just didn't know what to do. So I was like, maybe I just won't use paint. And that was crazy to me because my whole concept of the painting was that it looked realistic. So I didn't want to not use paint, because that was the whole gotcha moment. It was like, oh, it's paint and you didn't think it was paint. But I remembered my great grandma visiting me in my dreams, and she taught me how to crochet. And I hadn't even considered crocheting since elementary school. So I hadn't even thought about it, forgot I ever did it. But I remembered that because of her in my dreams, I remembered, oh, I used to love to crochet. I used to do it all day, every day. So I was like, maybe I can make this bear crocheted. So I tried to figure out how I was going to do that. So while I was doing it, I was crocheting again. My grandma had visited me in my dreams. I felt this deep spiritual connection to her, to my lineage, to who I am as a person. And I had to start from scratch. So I'm discovering myself all over again, discovering what I loved to do when I was a child in my raw version of myself, and I had no obligations. And it was just like, the bears are like, it's a very deep thing to me. Because when I got off Instagram and did all of that, I started this document between me and God on Google Docs, and it was called Trust the Process. So it was going to be every day I was going to write. I did. Every day I wrote what I was thinking about with the art, like what direction I was going to go with this painting. And I took it very seriously. And I just said, trust the process. And every day the painting took so many forms and all these things. And at the very end, I'm like, I cannot believe I came up with this. Because at first I was going to paint a self-portrait, and now I had something that I'd never seen before, and I really liked, and it was cute, and it had no meaning other than just being nice. So I'm long-winded, but it really meant a lot, because they're really I worked so hard for the past 8-9 years to find my style, because I was supposed to be famous. That was my whole goal. So I was just trying to find my style. And I took away trying to be famous. I took away everything else, all of the external validations that I was craving, and just went inside myself and discovered this. It's like, now I feel like I tell my family, like, I can finally smell, I can finally taste food. I feel like I've came into the real world and not in some, place I'm trying to be some famous person or, whatever. But yeah, it's just I'm very happy and connected to them. And I feel like I've transformed. It says a lot to my transformation, because everyone who's around me says I'm night and day from whenever I first lost everything to now. And that's why I also have a huge heart for philanthropy too. But we can get into that later. But yeah.
I love how you've laid out the whole process of the transformation itself and how you managed to get yourself out of a situation and you created unbeknownst to, I like systems, unbeknownst to you, you created a system where you surrendered. And in the surrender, you got clarity.
And I needed it. I needed it. I needed a little piece of humble pie. Because if I wanted to be all famous like I was before, and everything in my life coming with ease, friends coming with ease, I don't think I would have been able to be, I wasn't a well-rounded individual. I didn't get to see all aspects of life when something didn't go your way. If everything always goes your way, you get everything you want. I'm just a better person now because I got to be humbled and I needed it. And I'm very grateful. So when I asked God to transform my life, I wasn't expected to be sitting on my little sister's couch for 10 months with no bed, no income, and painting in her living room and thankful that she, let me stay there. But I needed all of it. And I'm very thankful to be in this place now. I'm still getting my life together, but yeah, I got a room and a bed. So we're good.
Hey, got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So just a quick question for you. What does being famous mean to you? And what would it bring to your life that you were seeking it out so much?
Now I don't even know what that means to me anymore. Because until this year, I was in competition with Michelangelo. Because every time I was new to art and I didn't know anything about art besides Michelangelo, Van Gogh, and Picasso. So I just wanted to be the best. So I'm a competitive person by nature. So I just wanted to be the best. So I was like, okay, well, if Michelangelo has been dead for X amount of years, that means I have to try my best to live beyond my name or live beyond my life. My name live beyond my life. So I just wanted to be a household name and known by everyone. And there was no specific purpose as to why. I just wanted that because I enjoyed the stage and I enjoyed the crowd. But it wasn't like I started becoming burnt out because I care about people. So if I'm only doing something for self, it just felt like I was walking around with my head cut off. And that's why I couldn't find my style or I didn't call myself a real artist until this year. It's like, I'm not a real artist because I'm just doing stuff just to do it so I could get famous. And it wasn't working. I kept hitting, at first I was going viral and then I just hit a block and I started, panicking like, oh, nobody cares about me. I'm not famous. And it wasn't about the art. So now I feel like impact is what I care about now versus like someone knowing my name. So I care about how long I live, not about all I care about is what I'm doing on this earth can give back to people and make them feel loved and feel grace and feel kind. All of the things that I had to learn to give to myself. So I just want to be impactful in that way rather than like the world famous, whatever. That's still a plus because I do like the stage, but it's like not about self anymore, pretty much.
I understand. So walk me through creating the bears. Did you have to come up with a pattern? How did you decide on the kind of not fabric, I guess for you, it's more wool or...
So I was trying to figure out, I was getting really frustrated painting this painting. And so I said, oh, maybe I can use yarn. Because at first I was just going to make it fuzzy. I wasn't actually going to crochet. I was just going to let's just make it fuzzy. But then my sister was throwing out her mattress pad when she was like walking to the dumpster about to throw away this mattress pad. And I was like, that looks like something I could use. So I just set it down and I still didn't connect the two to use it for the bear. And then when I saw the mattress pad sitting there and I had the yarn, I was like, oh wait, I can crochet. And I was like, I can make it 3D because if you look at my art anyway, I always like to give the 3D effect. So I was like, I can actually make it pop out the canvas. So the whole point of it was really, again, I do like the audience. I do live for the audience. So I wanted to make it entertaining. I was like, okay, God, I was on the internet. I said, hey, I have this bear that I'm painting, but I don't want to paint it anymore. So I'm going to figure out how to do it. So the motivation of people like wondering what I was going to do with it and the idea that they would be impressed, I was like, okay, what is the most cool thing I could possibly do with these materials? And I kind of like giving myself like a problem solving thing. So I was like, okay, if I have yarn, mattress foam, and a canvas, what can I do? Let's wow the world. And then that's kind of how I came up with it. I was like, ooh, I can do it like this. My need for people is more healthy now. Because it's good everybody needs an entertainer. Like I like to be an entertainer, but it's not like feed me jokes, It's more like, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Well, what I was going to ask you next is about making money. You talked about how you just this year you're going full time as an artist. Can you talk to me a little bit about your income stream and what we call your income pie? What are the different slices of your income? You don't have to get any specifics, but this is a question I've been asking a whole lot of different artists. And if you don't feel comfortable answering it, we can move on as well.
No, I'm transparent. Everybody can know everything. So right now I'm basically getting, for the first time in my life, congratulations to me, I am actually getting orders for the price that I want them to. So right now you can go on my website and just request a custom one of the bears. And I'm getting pretty prominent people asking. So, and they cost kind of a lot of money. So right now I'm only mainly getting orders and then a little bit on the social media. Like I'm going to step in my YouTube era this year, but Instagram kind of pays you a little bit if you go have some, I forgot what it's called, monetized creator thing. So those are my two streams of income. I also am going to be having a merch line of my smiley faces soon this year, but that's not until towards the end of the year, but we'll see. So right now I'm really relying on prayers and orders of these bears.
Tell me about the smiley face behind you because I love it. It's captivating. It looks like it's also knitted or is it
Yes, it's crochet too.
It's crochet.
Yes. I was trying to decide if I was only going to do crocheted bears. So initially I had two paintings that I was going to do after my painting, my comeback painting. I had a painting of a smiley face with a grill and a painting of a teddy bear. And I was tired of painting, so I just redid both of those paintings into 3D paintings and realized I actually liked making the bears more. And I wanted to keep my smiley face for my painting specifically. So basically, my smiley face is, I tried to come up with like a signature thing when I was finding my own style because famous was like my goal. So that means I had to find something that was uniquely me, that if you saw this image, you knew it was mine. Because I wanted to be like, I didn't like if my art blended in. So that's where my smiley face came from. But I decided to keep my smiley faces only on my paintings and the bears, the 3D. So I have just my one, because that used to be a painting and then I just made it a 3D painting thing. So
I love it.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
You and I are going to have to talk about it later.
Yes, that's right.
As you were chatting and I was looking at your work and I'm thinking, wow, this is just a natural progression because what we're talking about is something that everyone grows up, mostly everybody in the Western world, you grow up having a Lovie, you grew up having, in France, they call it a doudou, where a nounours, they call it a nounours or a doudou. Doudou was my son's nounours.
Okay.
Essentially, it's like a bear, right?
Yeah.
You have a Lovie and you use it. And for kids, it's incredibly soothing to have that. And they have it until they're 7 and 8. And it's really comforting. And most parents have to buy not one, but two, because one always gets lost.
Yep.
And I'm thinking about seeing your Dear Cleo bears and how much of it hits that spot.
That makes me so happy. Yes, that was my point. I was like, when I decided to initially paint the bear, I literally was so sad. I was like, I really want to feel that feeling of like hugging the teddy bear when you're young. And it just feels like everything's going to be okay, even though it's just a teddy bear. And I wanted something to symbolize that. The bears were the first time I focused on the process of making something versus the result. So I was like, that's why I ended up crocheting. So I'm like, what did I like to do? How do I like to paint? Rather than trying to paint something that people can see and post later. So, I mean, I think like I said, I like the audience to enjoy my work. So I care about that. But this is the first time I enjoyed the process. That's why I needed it to feel healing as I was doing it. And that's what it felt like. That was a point. So I'm glad you said that. I wanted to feel like, this is the adult version of hugging a bear. That's why I wanted it to cost a lot too. I'm like, the adult version of a teddy bear is something like, I'm proud of myself. This is expensive. Let me hang it on the wall. So yeah.
Do you mind sharing how much you sell them for?
So the smaller ones start at $1,200, and then like the bigger ones can go like $5,000 or something. That's where I'm starting. So hopefully I can go higher and higher and higher. But
definitely,
that's where I'm starting now. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So then I guess in some ways you do fine art, but then you are also what would they call it? The correct term is you're a textile artist.
Yes, I was trying to find the word after. I was like, what is the word? I was like, I'm a textiles. That's really much what it is. Because I'm so used to being a painter and I keep calling it. I'm like, it's not a painting. I don't know what it is. So yeah, that textile, that is it. I've been saying mixed media. I don't even know what to call them yet.
So when you come up with your new ideas for your bears or new whatever it is that you're going to do, do those ideas mainly come to you in a dream?
And not in a dream per se. I wish I had those great dreams and now I don't have them as much anymore. But I really it comes to me in conversation. So I'll be trying to talk something out and then suddenly I'll be like, oh, that's a good idea. And that's pretty much how I talk a lot, clearly. So me talking it out is pretty much how I've come up with most of my ideas. Or I have this thing called designated thinking time where I'll close my eyes and I can make myself daydream to where it almost feels like I feel like I'm not in the real world. And I designate the time out to just close my eyes and just go into deep stream of consciousness. And most of my ideas come from either talking or my thinking time, I call it.
Bria, you're so self-aware. You are.
This is like, if you knew me 2 years ago, that's just not something somebody would have said. So I'm like, yay. Thanks.
Well, you went through the transformation and you got a few bumps and you got knocked down a bit in order to come out at the other end. And to think, you're 31, so another 9 years, imagine the Bria of the future. Like she's going to be, yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. I feel like you have this energy and this view on life that most artists who I've talked to don't have. Like for you, your success is a foregone conclusion and you believe it. You believe it with every cell of your body, but you believe it in a way where it's not like I'm all that and a bag of chips and shoe on, like you the little people. It doesn't feel that way. It just feels like you're meant for greatness. And so it's just a matter of time until the greatness comes. And I believe you. And I'm here for it. I'm like, I am like we talked about the bleachers cheering you on.
So
and
much.
I'm totally there. And in terms of where I'm going with this conversation is that as you were chatting with me about your process from where you knew you needed to go through a transformation, you self-actualized that transformation. You were like, this is what needs to happen. And perhaps that has to do a lot with your relationship with God. So you knew what needed to happen. You put yourself through like a program.
You did.
You put yourself through a program to come out at the other end. And then you've also so insightful that you will meditate and go into a trance and create inspiration. So it's like you're not waiting for it to happen. It's as if like you have a bank that's there and it has all the stuff, all the riches that you will have over your lifetime, and you just go and you draw from it.
Because I started drawing so late in my head at the time, I've been subconsciously trying to play catch up. So I didn't feel like I had any time to let inspiration come to me. I said, we have to think about it now, go. And also always being half entrepreneur, half non-entrepreneur. It's like the bills are due, time is a ticking. So I had to force myself when I'm uncomfortable. Like I've painted when the lights were off. I was like, well, we just got to set this painting up by the window and figure out the bills. So it's like, I always felt like I had to rush to do something. So it made me develop these processes so I could manage my time. And I didn't want to waste a single day because I wanted to make my family proud. But my dad's not an artist. So he's like, I don't know what this girl is doing to free her life off. It's crazy. So I can't waste another day before I get to the goal so my dad can be proud. So yeah, I just didn't give myself any time to waste.
Oh, by the way, one of the things I was going to say is, as you were walking me through your process, it sounds like The Artist's Way, and I don't know if you've read the book.
Mm-mm. Sounds like a good
It's
book I need to read.
yeah, it's by, I forget, Julia Cameron, I think her name is. So she walks us through. The book is all about how do you behave like an artist, think like an artist, and produce like an artist. And there's a whole system to doing that. And it sounds like you do that just by default, but it might be worth reading the book.
Yeah,
too.
I've definitely, it's also funny, the past, because I was so set on trying to find my style so I could be famous, I like was very hyper focused, which is a good thing, even though my reasonings were like different, but it was a good thing because, but also I decided I wasn't going to consume anything that had to do with any art or anything at all, any media, until I feel like I found my thing. So now as soon as I found the bears, I was like, oh, I can look up. It was almost 9 years later. And I'm like, now I'm just now listening to podcasts. I'm just now like, literally, I'm just now joining the real world. So I'm just now reading books and everything. I'm like, okay, now I kind of want to know all the media. I'm like, what have I missed? Is there other artists in this world?
And to think you're still so young. There's
Yeah.
so much more to come. And it might evolve beyond bears and it might evolve
I'm excited.
beyond emojis.
Yeah, I'm not trying to box myself in. Usually I'm like, I have to pick one thing and that's it. And in doing that, I've done 20,000 things. So I just now I'm going to let myself evolve. This is my era. I don't know what I'll be at 35 or 32. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your interest in philanthropy and in supporting your community.
Okay. So when I literally had nothing, I remember I prayed. I was like, God, I just need a couple $100 just to pay my bills, my phone bill. Cause all I need is my phone bill and some groceries and I'll be okay. And literally right after that, I had a friend who was a founder of a nonprofit. And the nonprofit is called Two Fly Foundation. And my cousin had passed. I literally had a horrible day. My cousin passed that day. I just got evicted a week before. It was horrible. And then she texted me. She said, hey, I know you do social media because I was doing social media for work. And she said, I might need your help for doing social media for Two Fly Foundation. And it literally saved my life. So I ended up doing social media for Two Fly and I didn't get paid a lot of money, like not a lot of money at all, but enough to pay for groceries and my phone bill. And so I could just chill and create. And in doing so, it opened my mind to a whole, like, I always cared about children because I wanted to be a teacher. So I always cared about that. But knowing that I could be a part of something that allowed their whole thing is to allow children, inner city children or people who didn't have opportunities to travel. So they pay for their passports, their trips and all sorts of things. And I have never been on an international trip and I had a super big fear of flying. So they came to me at the perfect time and they kind of opened my heart to so many things. They're so welcoming. I never done anything professional. So it was like a really great experience. They gave me my first hotel room to myself. I'm telling you, I was very afraid to fly. I flew by myself and I was so scared, but I was okay, and because of them and the opportunity they gave me as an adult when I had nothing, and I just had to start my heart just started opening up more and more towards giving other people that opportunity. Cause I'm like, if I flew before, I probably wouldn't be so deathly afraid to fly now. But I just really started to care about that and the experience of like getting out of what you're used to. Cause I isolated myself for years. Like literally I did not leave the house until I found my art thing. So because of them, I realized I can make a difference and I didn't have to wait till I was a millionaire to help somebody. And I used to do raffles on the internet a long time ago and I would make a lot of money quickly because people was very interested in the art. But raffles I didn't know were illegal. So you can only do raffles if you do for charity. So I was like, okay, I want to give my art to something. Because like I said, I didn't want it to be about self anymore. So I wanted my art to be bigger than me. So I was like, you know what? Instead of trying to break into this art world and wait till some millionaire decides my art is worth it or something like that, I have a bunch of people who are willing to pay $5, $10, $100 to bet on this bear or this art in general. And I'd rather that money go to a kid who can like travel the world at least once. So because of that, I decided I was about to get represented by a gallery and I just didn't feel the vibe of like the art world per se. So I was like, you know what? I'd actually rather this money go to this kid who never saw, who wouldn't have had the chance to travel, because I never had the chance to travel. I literally have not gone on vacation since I was a child. I don't know what a beach looks like. So I'm like, I want somebody else to have that opportunity. So I donated my first bear. It was a God thing too. Everything's a God thing. Like getting off social media. When I prayed for a transformation, God told me in the middle of the night, get off social media. And that was crazy because, I was addicted. And then same with this, I was like praying, like, what should I do? What should I do? And God's like, give your art away. And it changed my whole perspective of my art in general. I didn't get attached to it like I was. I wasn't emotionally attached. I realized it's a gift and I'm free flowing and I have endless amount. Before I was treating it like this is one piece of art. It's going to be this much. Don't touch it. Now I'm like, I am an endless gift. I'm just a vessel. It's not that serious. If I can make a bear and then a kid can go to Thailand, I'll make 20 bears so 20 kids can go, It's just like, that's kind of where my heart is. So now that's a very much part of who I am. And I'm also glad I got to be so low. I mean, I've always been kind of a struggling artist, but like nothing, $0, zero, it made me realize like, man, I really want to help people. It gave me a whole different perspective. Because also when I was down and out, I went to feed the homeless with my sister. I don't say feed the homeless, serve houseless people. And the only difference between me and them was that my sister was letting me sleep on her couch. It's like, you're just like me. We both are struggling, but I have a couch to sleep on and your family's in a different state. And that was the only difference. So it just opened my eyes to like more than just how do I be Michelangelo, So I really care about it. And now to Fly, we're going on my first international trip in exactly 1 month for today. So
where are you going?
Colombia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited because last year this time I was literally, to keep myself from crying, I visualized my toes in the sand and now I get to go. So I'm like, this is exciting. So yeah, it's been a good transformative year.
Wow. So Bria, for our last question, as we wrap up, you have had a really unique path from traditional education and you studied sociology and communications in school. And now you're a multidisciplinary artist. What advice would you give to others who are still trying to figure out what their focus should be, as well as what their artistic voice is?
I love that question. Honestly, stay true to you. If you silence out the noise of what you think you should be doing, how somebody has told you are, or I feel like we can turn into like self-fulfilling prophecies. Like my whole life I was told I'm loud, I'm this, I'm that. And I didn't have a soft side to me. So when I came up with the bears, it just seemed the opposite of what people would have said about me. But if you stay true to who you are and don't try to do anything for anybody else and just go back to the core of you. What did I like when I was 5? When I was my raw self, when I first got to the world and I didn't have a clue. So whatever I was drawn to was naturally me. I would say to just stay true to that and just honestly keep trying and just don't stop trying. I've done every medium: watercolor, graphite, oil painting, animation. I've done everything, and I think they're all my style. They're all uniquely me, and just be true to yourself. That's pretty much it. Get to know you and stay true, and love you. Love what you do. If you did it with your hands, love it.
Oh, well, Bria, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you. This is fun. So much fun. I like talking.
Hi there. I have a quick favor to ask you before you go. If you're loving the show, would you mind taking a quick second to leave us a 5-star review on your favorite go-to podcast app? Here's the thing. Those reviews are like magic fairy dust. They help other creatives of color discover our show and tap into their own artistic superpowers. While you're at it, why not subscribe to our Substack newsletter, Creative Matters? Creative Matters is like a weekly dose of inspiration delivered straight to your inbox. You can find the link to subscribe in the show notes. All right, that's all that I have for you today. I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Bye.